Stirring the coffee with chopsticks using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee. Way too much cream in this at the molecular level. I frothed some cream for my coffee. Actually whipped cream. And put too much of it in. So I have to get through the frothed cream before I get to the coffee today. Let's see how it goes. I'm still getting all the cream. There's the coffee. Nice. Nice. Caribou Daybreak coffee made with a pour-through method. And there's one scoop of Ethiopian in there. Nice. Nice. Well, good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Well, it looks like the four-legged furry creatures are doing laps, chasing each other around the house, which is always fun to watch. And all of a sudden, they felt the need to do it as soon as I pressed record. So I thought that was kind of funny. Let's talk about a cold, hard truth today. In a friends with benefits situation, like if two people are just together and they're not really developing a relationship, but they're just kind of getting together, and one person's always benefiting more than the other in a friends with benefits situation. A growing and thriving relationship is about both people operating in a ego-free existence. It's true. There's so much talk in the men's community about, you got to be the prize. How about if both people are the prize? How would that be? How would that be if both people really respected what each other brings to the table? What if both people are aware of both people's nature, rather than one just always trying to get over on the other? I'm just asking. One is attention. You have to give attention to one another. It's just so important to do. Can't ignore the other person in any way. No silent treatments. And especially if you are a person who's into, silence, solitude, and service, it could be difficult. It could be difficult. But both people have to realize that one or both enjoys silence and solitude. Because a person's silence and solitude can bring out the insecurity of someone else. Pretty bad. Because it's not about me. You're not paying attention to me. This stuff needs to be hashed out long before there's marriage, or long before anyone creates a long-term relationship or the intention of lasting commitment. The second A is acceptance. Acceptance of what? Acceptance that they had a life before you. Whew. Listen, don't hold a person's past against them when you finally, I don't want to say finally settle down, but if you settle down with somebody and you know what their past is, how dare you use that against them? You chose to go forward with them. It's like knowing the liabilities of a vehicle but buying it anyway, and then blaming the dealer for selling you a faulty car when you knew exactly, or the previous owner, and you knew exactly what the deal was. That is why people need to be upfront with each other about things. Will you discover things about each other as you go along? Yep, you bet. But acceptance that they had a life before you, that's important. I remember someone once, we were talking about each other's pasts. And one of the most comforting things, it might have been to make me go easy on her. I'm not sure, but she said to me something like, she goes, I realized that you had a life before me. I get that. I get that. I like that. And believe me, she had a life before me. But we liked each other. We liked each other. But everyone who you meet had a life before they met you. And what choices did they make before they met you? And how will it affect you? So we have attention, we have acceptance. The third one is appreciation. Appreciation of the other person for what they've become in this life. There's a reason why you're attracted to them. Don't start tearing them down. There's a reason why you are attracted to them. I like to add the phrase becoming. Everybody is becoming, not just become. No one is a finished product. Nobody, anywhere. So, judging a person for the rest of their life or with eternal consequences can be kind of rough because people are changing and evolving all the time. You are. I am. Appreciation of the other for what they've become and what they are becoming. What are they becoming? For instance, if you are a person who's chubby and you're having less portions, you're making an attempt to go to the gym, you're not the person yet you want to be. You are becoming something. And that's the part that is appreciated, the becoming part, the part that's en route. Did you ever expect somebody to show up? They're going to be at your house at a certain time. You're looking at your watch and they're not there. You call them and they say, I ran into some traffic or I had some issues, but I'll be there soon. I'm almost there. That's how people are in life in general. If we view people that are truly trying as, oh, they're going to be there soon. They're going to be here soon. They're almost here. You kind of like lay off the criticism a little bit more. You go easier on them because they are en route. In the same way, you are en route to your ideal body or financial situation or mental situation. It's better to be moving and becoming than it is to just plant a flag in the ground and say, damn it, this is who I am. I'm not going to change. Like me for who I am. No, I'm not going to like you for who you are. Because basically that's just all ego. That's just saying you can do no wrong and that you are just being obstinate and saying that you don't need to change. You don't need to alter yourself. What if you do need to change? What if comfort and satisfaction in the relationship relies on you? What if you are the needed missing part? Just like tweaking the way you deal with things. What if it's your fault? What is one little thing that you can do in your relationship? If you're in a marriage or a relationship, what is the one little thing you can do that can make the day nicer for the relationship? The us part. There's you, there's them, and then there's us. You have a life, they have a life, and then the us, the collective, the relationship has a part. If there's not an us, then you're basically just roommates that occasionally get together and have sex. So the relationship has to benefit. Pardon me, gotta have some coffee here. Man, that is good. That is so good. What a nice combo. The daybreak coffee with 1 scoop, 2 scoops of daybreak coffee, 1 scoop of Ethiopian. Out of this world. Attention, acceptance, appreciation for the other, for what they've become and what they are becoming. Number 4, affection freely flowing to them physically and emotionally. Maybe it's not about me, me, me. How about having a day where you just kind of suck it up and my thoughts are this. Just have a them, them, them day. And I'm not talking about burning yourself out like a candle for someone else. They might be having a hard day. They might be wearing thin from difficulty at work, having a personal struggle, having bad news, issues with their family. What if you set aside yourself? I know people are saying, I set aside myself for 20 years. Some people say, and now it's about me. I get that. I get that. I do. A little appreciation goes a long way. So affection freely flowing to them physically and emotionally. Appreciation and affection go hand in hand, definitely. And then the last one is allowing yourself to hospice your pain from the past. Everybody carries pain from the past, from their childhood somehow, some way, something that happened, feeling deficient. Mom divorced dad. Dad ended up cheating on mom, whatever. Fill in the blank. There's multiple situations here. My thoughts are, rather than just always carrying around that pain and that confusion and that cynicism and that anger, to hospice your pain. Allow it to die peacefully. Allow it to leave this earth in as peaceful a way as possible. You're not going to switch off pain and bad memories like a light switch. It doesn't work that way. And any expectations of doing so is going to severely disappoint you. So let's review the 5 A's. Attention, acceptance, appreciation, and this is the most important thing, I think. Appreciation for what they are becoming. Affection and allowance, allowing yourself to hospice your pain from your past. I'm always somewhat hesitant to put things into nice, neat little packages. The 5 A's, the 3 L's, the 6 N's of, whatever. It just makes for a good speech, right? But I think these things are reasonable. I don't think they're unreasonable in any kind of relationship. If you have a relationship. Here's some mannequins from a mall store. And here is a male mannequin from Duluth Trading Company. One just sits there and says, it's almost like looking in a mirror for most people. Most people don't want to see, like if you are like a chubby person, or you have a belly on you. Oh, by the way, my belly's gone. Like my belly gone, completely gone. 100% flat now. Now I just got to get rid of that layer of fat. And I'd like to get down to about 15% body fat. And I'm giving myself till next June to do it. But the idea of having a fat mannequin with a belly, the weird-ass psychology that says, well, if we have mannequins that look like the majority of people, they'll be happier. And they'll see what the clothes look like on them. Well, the clothes look like shit. So that helps you think to yourself, man, I need to lose a few pounds. If I looked like a mannequin, one of these fat dad bod mannequins, it would not make me feel better. When I look at the Duluth Trading Company mannequin, I look at that and I go, hell yeah. When I look at that, seriously, when I saw that mannequin, and I actually was in Duluth Trading Company, and I took a picture of it. That's my picture. I took that picture in the store. It made me kind of suck in my stomach a little bit, kind of do this a little bit more. And a mannequin inspired me. What the, right? A mannequin inspired me. In the same way, Jordan Peterson says you can't even look at the statue of David without it screaming at you, you can be better. I believe that. That mannequin was saying to me, you can be better. Because literally, when I look at the dad bod mannequins, the first thing that comes to my mind was, holy crap, I look like that? Is that supposed to be me, the average American male? And then I looked at the fit mannequin, and I kind of sucked it in a little bit more, stuck my chest out a little bit more, shoulders back a little bit more, head a little bit higher. A mannequin inspired me. How crazy is it when a mannequin inspires you and people don't? Talk about virtual reality, right? Freedom. Freedom. Freedom is scary for some people because they don't know what to do with it. So they seek restraints. They seek a leash. They want that electric fence, that invisible fence around them because they don't know what to do. Like, for instance, when you think about all-you-can-eat buffets, my attitude about an all-you-can-eat buffet is this. I can't eat all that food. To go to a restaurant, like let's just say you go to a normal restaurant. In most restaurants, not kind of like these nouveau restaurants where you get like a weird piece of pork belly that's like this big, and they put like some weird stripes on it and put a piece of chive on it and just a couple dots of some sauce or something like that. I'm not talking about those kind of restaurants. I'm talking about just like a normal restaurant you go to. 9 times out of 10, we eat what's on the plate because we want to get our money's worth. And then we're full. Then we're like, oh, I got to unbutton my pants or whatever. And then you want to go home and take a nap. 9 times out of 10, they serve too much food, and you should take food home. A great habit to get into is ask for the to-go box before you leave, or before you even start eating. A good technique is to get the to-go box or the doggy bag before you even eat. Some people have resorted to drastic measures of cutting the portion in half, putting it in the to-go box, and setting it aside so they only have a smaller portion. For instance, like if I ever get Chinese food, I never eat the whole thing in one shot. There's always 2 meals there, always. There's a place, The Boot, near me, if you've known The Boot restaurants, Italian restaurants. Not a bad restaurant. Gone there quite often. I haven't gone in a while, but I used to go there with people after work, and some of you remember my friend Chrissy. We would go there on occasion. And I think the last time I was there was when I saw her, and that was, 2.5, 3 years ago. That was a while ago. But I always brought food home. Always. Always. Always had 2 meals. But think about a buffet. Buffets are funny when they say, you can't take any food home. Like there are people who go to buffets, all you can eat buffets, and will bring a Ziploc bag so they can take food home. Is that crazy? The whole concept of all you can eat just blows me away. All you can eat. So you eat more because you want to get your money's worth. Smart people do seek some type of restraint. But when restraint is forced on you, you don't like it. Let's go back to the topic of freedom. Freedom is scary for some people because they don't know what to do with it, so they seek out a leash. Get me away from this table before I eat some more. Take this food away from me, because if you don't, I'll eat it. Take this freedom away from me, because if you don't, I'll abuse it somehow. Food and freedom. Food is a metaphor for freedom. How we treat food is how we treat freedom. Here's a great comment from Brandy Collins. Brandy, if you're watching, good morning. We literally just quit our jobs, tired of working for someone else. We can get along all right by ourselves, selling everything we own, moving west, finding a place in the hills, a good old country home. We're doing things our way. High five to all of my friends. Self-sufficiency. Rugged self-reliance. I love it. If this channel just became a rugged self-reliance channel, that wouldn't be a bad thing, now would it? So I'm back on Twitter, still the globo and porn capital of the world. Some account makes a decent comment on your tweet. You click on the account to see if they're worth following, and the first thing you see is a pinned video of a fat dude getting a BJ from a tattooed, pierced woman. I wonder if Elon will clean that crap up. Twitter has multiple uses. Twitter can be a weapon to beat people over the head with, to cancel people with. Twitter can be a great place to promote business, make money. I know a lot of people doing it. I know I do it on Twitter. I make money on Twitter, on Instagram, on Gab, on YouTube. And it's great. It's awesome. There's no such thing as cracking the code, but once you understand how to do it, it's pretty cool. But Twitter is also a porn site, a dating site. It's weird. Free speech is a funny thing. It's so it's funny how some people use freedom as an excuse to smash others publicly. I don't know. St. Paul talked about it, you know. Let's see. I'm just going to put a key phrase in there. This is from Galatians. In the Bible it says, "For brothers, you were called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another. For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself." This is why I freaking hate the King James Version. Oh. Let me find another version. Let's see. Let's see what the English Standard Version says. See how they say it. Okay, this is like more normal, all right? You were called to freedom, brothers. Just don't use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another. That's normal sounding, right? You have freedom. What are you going to use that freedom for? Are you going to use that freedom to fulfill fleshly desires? Or are you going to use that freedom to serve one another? You can do anything you want, but the choices that you make with your life, with your words, with your hands, need to be directed in the area of serving other people. And if you are in a community where everybody believes that, then everybody's needs get taken care of. In a marriage, you have freedom. But if you use that freedom for staying out late and neglecting your spouse, and that can go male or female, then there's going to be problems. But it says, but through love, serve one another. This is not the simping and blue pill channel. I like to say, get on the health, wealth, and positive relationship train. All aboard. There is nothing wrong with treating your partner, your spouse, like they're special. You married them. You chose them. They're under the same roof as you. Why not treat them special? Why would you even go through all of that effort if you're not going to treat them special? This is what gets me. I know some people, I know a guy, 13 children, comes home and the wife takes off with the kids, moves out of state. What the actual is that all about, right? All of a sudden now he's bad and abusive and narcissistic and all. I'm sure, I can almost predict exactly everything that she's going to say. But he was Chad enough to create those 13 children and to plant those seeds in her. But this little unpleasable biatch decides that she doesn't want to be around this man that planted 13 children inside of her. And she walks out and starts influencing the kids. Kids naturally love their fathers. They naturally love their fathers. The father has to be a complete violent jack-off for kids to not love their dads. 9 times out of 10 in divorce, the kids see how the parents act, but the kids usually end up with mom and dad ends up becoming a visitor, which is pretty fucked up. I think that shit should be reversed. You want to be a strong, independent woman? You fucking pay me alimony and child support, bitch. Fuck that. Your fucking crocodile tears in court are no longer going to get compassion from these judges, who are a waste of time. I got to have Terrence Pop on here to talk about administrative correction when it comes to dealing with judges who don't help preserve families. And there's nothing you can do about it. Terrence Pop showed me there is something you can do about it. I'm well beyond that. I'm now decades beyond that. Nothing I can do. But kids naturally love their dad. When they don't, it's because of smart-ass, stupid, snarky remarks from mom about the dad. And you learn at home how to hate your father. You learned how to hate your father. Your dad's reaction to your mother, listen close, listen close. Your dad's reaction to your mother is not how your dad is. A dad is supposed to fight and be insulted and offended and energetically fight for his kids. When he sees that that doesn't work, he backs away and says, what's the use? It's called learned helplessness. That's what courts have taught men today, how to be helpless. Even the strongest man can become helpless in today's family court system. I remember when I put my hand on the Bible to take oath that I would tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God, I meant it. This is where people can be really evil. You know what? I know so many dads. I've dealt with just hundreds and hundreds in my career, and also have experienced this. I know guys that are so fucking worn out by today's unfair, stupid-ass, tilted playing field of a family court system where a dad just says, all I want to do is see my kids. And he will go to a fucking park and buy ice cream cones and walk around the park with his kids once a week. If that's what he's given by the court. That's what he's given by the court. A man who tucked his kids into bed every night is now reduced to the role of visitor. And mom's new boyfriend, who is sleeping in the bed that man bought, is now banging that woman in the house that he bought. And that guy, that Chad, he might not be a Chad. He's probably not. He's probably just a transition guy, most likely. The reality is he is seeing the kids more than the dad is. And this is where men fuck each other over really bad. Because because of pussy, they listen to the woman who divorced her husband, and he's out living in an apartment somewhere, and they think he's the bad guy. And they have no compassion at all for the dad who ended up leaving the marital home. Men do not date women with children. Fuck that shit. Fuck it. Do not date women with children. And if you do and you don't reach out to that man, the father of those children, who you are seeing more than he does, because he's now a visitor or a glorified uncle, then you're a fucking asshole. But you just want that thing there, don't you? That's more important to you. You'd rather fuck over another man than give up this. Am I not telling the truth? One of my followers, a young man by the name of Konrad Borowski, I have his book here in a pile somewhere. I gotta find it. I'm gonna put a link to his book. He's a fine young man, and my attitude is this: give him a shot. I posted, I said, Konrad is making poetry great again. Men don't write poetry anymore, do they? Well, this one has, and it's pretty darn good. I think you'll like it. Konrad Borowski. Good stuff. The book is called Natura, Natura. Treat yourself to some poetry. I'll put the link down below. For the newly separated guys, let me just give you a little reassurance. It does get better. It does get better. It probably doesn't feel like it right now, but it will. Just don't complicate things with alcohol, drugs, or sex with strange women. Church probably will not help. Seek out a community of guys who will help you get back on track. That necessarily does not exist in churches, which, to use a overused phrase, churches are pretty much gynocentric. I even hate that word, but for lack of a better term, they cater to women more than men. If a couple is in church and they are separated, that man will feel weird in church. Most men stop going to church when they get separated or divorced. Because number one, they're always viewed as the perpetrator, the one who is the fault for the marriage. The one who is the fault for the marriage failing. And number two, they're always viewed as like suspiciously. Single men, like divorced men, there's a difference between like a guy who's never been married going to church and a divorced guy. Divorced guys in church usually are viewed very suspiciously. That's what I've noticed. So, are you going to find comfort in church? Probably not. That's why you need to find a community of men who are accepting and been through the same thing. Arkansas Woodsman says, the only channel on YouTube that actually has this mindset. It's been a major struggle for me to grow this mindset, so I sincerely thank you, George, for your no bullshit way of exposing the bullshit I have accepted in my life. I reposted that public comment. I said, you'd probably be trimmer, wealthier, and have better relationships if it wasn't for the lies you keep telling yourself about nutrition, work, money, women. Get off the bullshit carousel that you're on right now. Life will change. When you are going through hard times, gentlemen, there's two things that you're going to feel. Number one, that you're the only one experiencing it, and number two, that it will never end. Both are false. You're not the only one experiencing it. A lot of people are experiencing it, and you need to find out who they are, where they gather, and look for not just coping techniques, but growth techniques. And number two, it will end. Storm clouds come over your head. Hunker down, let the storm pass. It will not last forever. I remember my dad once said, if you don't like the weather in Florida, wait 15 minutes because it changes so often. It's like that in the Caribbean. Might have like a wicked storm. Literally 20 minutes later, it's sunny, as if it never rained. But when you are in the midst of it, you're like, holy shit, I'm getting rained on. Oh my God, this is such a crazy storm. Think about when you're going through shit in your life. Oh my God, this sucks. I'm in pain. How am I going to get out of this? I'm going to be broke. I'm never going to see my kids again. It's all false. It's how you feel when you're in the storm. The storm will pass. Of course, here we are in election season. This is the one that gets me. All the people that were out there running around saying, the election was rigged. They're also now saying, make sure to get out and vote. Well, what is it? Is the election rigged? Or is it get out and vote? What do you do? What is it? To see the, I don't want to say, it's not hypocrisy, but you see the confusion there? It's rigged. But make sure to get out and vote. Psychopath. The marriage goes out, the nose ring goes in. Very predictable. What is with these women with the tattoos? What's going on with the tattoos? Well, I have a tattoo, it's significant. It's like, shut up. It's going to look like a bruise in about 10 years. Would you put bumper stickers on a Ferrari? Enough. If you got tattoos, get them removed. Let's get real. They look like trash. So many women, you see women on like all the different social medias, they love posing with their hand like this, and there's that weird ass, just like some stupid ass tattoo. Tattoos on women are different than tattoos on men. Let's get real. Maybe not on some of the modern men who probably get tattoos out of the same motivation that women get them. In one of my videos from a while ago, where I said date long, marry slow, and divorce fast, Brittany, who you know, one of the followers, she shows up in the chat sometime. She says, between you and Richard Grannon, you are both so brilliant. Thank you for all these videos full of real wisdom. You are welcome, Brittany. I certainly try, and I know Richard does too. Anyone start watching Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities? I saw the first episode and I really liked it. It was good. If you're like a horror, sci-fi, or fantasy fan, you may like it. To every guy experiencing parental alienation, know that nothing can separate you from the love of God. The most important thing you can text your kids if they have a phone is, "I love you and believe in you." That's what you want to be known for, and that's the only thing that you truly can control. And with that, finish your coffee, and I'll see you on the next Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason.
They mentioned fatty food and red meat. Oh, bad red meat. I cannot believe how it's like an organized attack on red meat and cows. Everything, your health issue is due to red meat, right? Incredible how they lie to people, and people believe that, and they will have anemia, they will have other things, eating junk, eating carbs, eating wheat product, soy product, they will encounter, but they're not going to eat red meat, right? Just horrible. But remember, no red meat.
We are going to rock and roll.